Hello, everyone. Welcome to BrainyHeart. Greetings from Berlin. I've got Marie Meyer-Marktl on the other end of the line in Wien, and I'm so excited to see you after a very long time. Hi there, Marie.
Hi, Eveline. It has been a while, yes. I'm happy to be here and to talk with you about the brainy heart.
Yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, dear audience, Marianne and I, we got to know each other, uh, well, 100 years ago, felt. So a long, long time ago, almost 10, 15 years ago, in a corporate. Back then, she was a young talent for me to get to know. I was totally thrilled of her new ideas. We actually spoke in a couple of occasions together. Um, now, Marie has gone her way, and I would like you to tell our audience how you gone your way since then.
You're totally right. It has been more than 10 years, very long time. And back then I was in the corporate world. I was, having a career. I was promoted nearly every year. And finally, I ended up as financial chief financial officer in Hamburg. And I thought, well, that's nice that I'm here, but my heart didn't feel well at all. It was very nice to have all these colleagues and preparing and doing new stuff and also innovative stuff. But still, my heart was doing Excel sheets and a lot of numbers. And I found out that I prefer to support people and not companies with numbers, but I prefer to support people in finding their way through their work life and their life. And that's why I changed my job, which was back then a really big thing for me because earning a lot of money, having a secure job, and then going into self employment without any customers. It was a really big change. Yeah, and it happened 7 years ago.
Yeah,
Six,
yeah.
6 years, 6 years ago.
How did you feel back then in the corporate world?
First of all, I felt very preserved. It was like a tiny nest, like a bird. You remember when the little birds are coming, it's in a nest, I think. It's also the English name. So I
Yeah,
felt very safe, very secure, very pampered. All the people were, feeding me, giving me information, supporting myself. But sooner or later, I felt like stuck because I was so safe, but the nest was too small for me. So I really had to, yeah, spread my wings and fly away, something like this,
yeah,
and,
great.
and get in my own footsteps. Yeah, and not follow the rules or the path, which was more or less seen for me, but from other people, not for myself.
Mm. I mean, what kind of I'm digging in there really hard because I can imagine there are a number of people out there, young talents like yourself, who are being promoted every year. They take one to the next, new responsibilities on top, on top. I have to mention this as well, that especially we female, we tend to say yes, yes, yes to more responsibility, and but we fail to also ask for compensation for that.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, we can talk about that in one of my next questions, the question 4, what you like to coach most. I'd like to touch base on this, really. However, how did you feel, did you manage the shift once like you were a colleague before, in the corporate world back then? So, and then you became a manager, you became the CFO. How was that shift for you? Today, yesterday you were a colleague, Marie, how you doing, and so on, and then all of a sudden then you got a leading position, and we know that how people feel when they have to obey the authority. Then you become overnight authority,
Yeah.
not a colleague anymore. How did that feel, and how did you cope with that?
I think the most challenging part was that when you are a leader, you have more like the head of the company, and it gets more and more complicated to be on an eye level with the other person. At least it was for me, because the company I was working for was really traditional, and so the people tended to, look up to their boss and not be on the same level. And this was for me the most challenging thing, because I like participation, I like this togetherness, which was not really seen from my employees, and especially from the older ones. Yeah.
Right.
And I
Um,
think this was the most challenging part, and also to see that people were stuck, and I couldn't help them because I wasn't neutral. So in Hamburg, I had two employees, and I really wanted to help them. I wanted to support them, but there was still this: I'm a leader, they are the employee. There was no, yeah, there was this togetherness missing for me, and
mm,
that's why this was a little piece again, which showed me I should really change, because my role is not the right one.
I mean, I totally understand. Um, we criticize the Asia Pacific cultures that they've got so-called custom principle, yeah, guanxis. They put people in the boxes, but in one way or the other, we actually do the same. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Shortly, yeah, yeah, more or less. I mean, we just do the same, totally unconsciously. No offense. Um,
And I think it also helps us to put things in boxes. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do our daily work. But
mhm,
sometimes we really have to reconsider and to think if this box is the right one, or
yeah,
if there has to be any box.
yes, yes. Um, Then my next question is that how did the work ethics change since then, Marie?
My worth ethics, you mean, right?
No, no, no. The work ethics in general, because you become a coach right now. You've been doing
Yeah.
your own thing for over 10 years, almost 10 years right now. I know you just went through a very comprehensive coaching education when you hit the road, so you didn't just entitle yourself and say, "Well, I worked as a CFO," and which we women would never do. So, and so I'm entitling myself to coach others. Is not the way actually how we work and how we tick, right, as women.
Yeah.
And so I would like you to really zoom out and and to really observe, as a professional, how did the work ethics change back then for you, and how can you report about it?
I think more and more purpose is coming into work life. So people like to have a purposeful work, and to make something bigger than themselves, to make the world a little bit better, which is a little bit idealistic. But the younger the people are, I think the more and more this is important for their life. And it's also for seeing what they are there for. So it's something like a machine which keeps you going. The purpose. It helps you to get up in the morning, to smile, to be happy at work, or fulfilled at work, when you see what change you can do. And yeah.
I understand. So that means the work ethics changed back then. Before, I can confirm that it was money against effort and vice versa, right? So, but today people actually are after a feeling, not after just dully money. Is that so?
I think it's not black and white. So I think more and more people are changing. I think money is still important. If you don't earn money, you can't survive in life, of course. And yes, I would add that this exchange between money and work, it it gets less, I think. And more and more people decide, as I did, all the money in the world can't buy me, fulfillment. It comes from myself. It comes from inside of me, and it also comes from the work I do. You know.
I totally agree. Tell me about it. So I mean, indeed. Um, I prepared the next question for you. I prepared the questions very, very individually, depending on who I'm talking to. And that really interested me. Namely, what can you advise to those who feel like you back then? That you just said, wait a minute, corporate world is not my way. They're asking me to swim, but I'm a cat. Yeah, they're asking me to be a fish, or vice versa. uh,
Yeah.
so what kind of advice can you give those who are in this heavy heart feeling they have, that they carry the work and come back home with this heavy heart, and they don't know, should I stay or should I go? What can you tell them?
I think the most important thing is to be able to see yourself in maybe 5 or 10 years. Would you still want to be there? And do you see yourself there? And are you then happy? Are you confident there? Do you feel warmth and happiness if you see yourself in the future in 5 years? And if it's not, then probably you should think about a change. And it doesn't have to be like the big one as I did, from corporate world to self-employment, but there can also be little changes within your work, or with changing maybe only the company without making a big change in your job title, you know. So there are different possibilities of change, from small
Exactly.
to very big ones. And it also depends on you what you think of small and big one.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. um Knowing so, I wanted to ask, perfectly completes the way we were talking. What do you like coaching most? Like, you're a professional coach. You took a very extensive education about coaching professionals. Um, what do you like coaching most?
It's very interesting. I think the main aspect is that I really, really love to support people. And it's all the time people come and they're stuck. They feel somehow bad because they don't like their current situation, and they want to change, but they don't know how or where to go.
Mm.
And I really support in finding that they find their clarity, what they really want to do, and also then putting or doing the first steps to achieve that, or to follow that path.
Exactly.
And the sparkle in their eyes when they find the clarity, when they have more pieces together from a puzzle, I really love that.
Yeah.
And
Good.
yeah.
Anything else, like these typical topics? Because I would like to also, mm, I would like you to make sense or use of this very interview. Those who listen to us and who find you really competent and sympathetic, nice, so they can reach you out. So, like, do you have these typical topics in your business that you say, I love coaching, managing change, or I love coaching, dealing with conflicts? You also hit your audience with weekly newsletter, as
Yeah.
well. As far as I know, I'm one of your followers. So tell us about it.
I'm a business and life coach, so I support in mostly in the situations where people by themselves feel unhappy, and they know something is wrong, but maybe they can't really tackle the problem, or if they can tackle it, they don't know how to solve it. So this is my main part, and it's even in the business world or in the private world, where they see, okay, I want to do something more. I am somehow not in the real situation now. I don't live my life. I live maybe the life from somebody else, from my parents, from my friends, but I don't live myself. So every time people want to express themselves, they first have to, get to know themselves better. And this is the right situation where I support. Last year, I wrote a book in German about work changes where, people don't know where to go. It's more like a self-reflection book with a lot of different Übungen, tasks, and
Exercises,
yeah,
exercises.
exercises
Mhm.
where you get to know
What's the name
yourself.
of the book? What's the name of the book?
It's Macht den Montag magisch.
Okay,
Dein ultimativer Guide für deine berufliche Neuorientierung.
good. So we will actually, when I just publish this word interview, then I would love to share the name of the book,
Mhm.
etc.
Yeah,
Uh,
thank you. So I think this is maybe my story, to be honest, because I knew a lot. I had a lot of different trainings and stuffs, but I didn't know what I want to do. So I think this is the one of the main things is you don't have to do what you know how to do it, but what you love to do. And
exactly.
and the knowledge will follow. And in this book, I somehow also explain my way of the transition, but I also give exercises of how people can find what they really love and really like. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. I mean, indeed, we need such kind of workbooks to reflect on ourselves and our likes and dislikes. Some people don't know about their likes and dislikes, unfortunately. And my favorite final question of the day, namely, what is more important for you, Marie? Brain or heart or a brainy heart?
I think it's a combination. So I picked the brainy heart.
Okay.
For me, it's one or the other. Always some part of you is missing. If you only follow the brain, you will maybe feel not very well. And if you only follow the feeling, then the brain sooner or later will follow you, catch you up, and say, "Hey, you forgot me," and will also make a strike or something. So it really has to work together in a combination. And that's what I also do in my job as fulfillment at work, which is the name of my company, is a combination between brain and heart, because then you really feel fulfilled at work.
Indeed, this is the only way actually to complete ourselves. I tell to my clients, if you're looking for lemons, don't look for it in the banana garden, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So that sometimes things look the same, but they're different. And corporate to corporate, environment to environment, sometimes you have to find the right environment for you to work. So it doesn't have to be like Marie did, leaving the corporate world and leaving everything behind. This is a very brave behavior that Marie did. However, as we know that it's not everybody is for and can do that kind of hard work.
Yeah, it's a
um,
really
but
individual decision, right? It's something you have to
exactly.
feel and you have to follow your own feeling and not what somebody else did. Yeah.
Indeed, I mean, years long we made this mistake, especially in German-speaking world. You can probably confirm it, that we said, well, like let's stick to the facts. We analyze the facts until they died. Yeah. However, it's not about the facts. Actually, it's about the feeling that we are after.
Yeah.
And many top managers you probably coach, I coach, they just say, I had a bad feeling about that, anyways, but we did it because.
Yeah.
So and it's really in for becoming the human 4.5 or 5.0. Yeah, it doesn't matter what from what perspective you take a look. It's about having this emotional awareness and dealing with that emotion. um I loved your answer with the brainy heart. That's the way to go, actually, that the brain and heart, they have to work together.
Yeah. And I think as a former financial leader, I know that numbers are not numbers. Numbers always come with feelings. And if you can think of a number very positive or very negative, but it's still the same number.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
the feelings really have to come into more into work life and be more
Exactly.
socially accepted.
Mm. And is it so, like, I'm still getting out of but is it changing really, or it's still an agony to do that?
I
What do you
think
think?
in a society are still struggling, but it's getting more.
Okay,
But
that's
it's
getting
still a way to go.
yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So we are all hoping and doing our bests and keeping our horizons open. Marie, thank you very much for this wonderful interview. We learned a lot. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, we look forward to seeing you the next time. Thank you very much again, Marie. Greetings to Wien and greetings to you all. See you next
Thank
time.
you.
Bye.
Bye.